Welcome back to episode 8 of Free Thoughts from Freedom Chiropractic and Rehab. Thanks for joining us. This week's quote of the week comes from Winston Churchill. He said, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, and an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." This really brought me back. I read it earlier this week, reminded me of my back pain. We talked about it last week. I'm no different than you. I'm currently dealing with an episode of lower back pain. It's improving, not quite fully resolved, but I'm now seeing this as my opportunity. I'm seeing this as my reminder to get back to doing the basics, the simple mobility and core stability drills on a daily basis, and regular strength training. So just want to kind of share that quote because it reminded me of it, and also to say thank you for those that reached out and expressed their concern for my lower back pain. But yes, I'm on the mend, getting back to normal. Just wanted to share that this is an opportunity. It's a reminder to get back to doing the basics. So if your back starts to act up, or your neck, or your shoulder, or your hip, or whatever's been bothering you, if it starts to act up again, just see it as a reminder, as an opportunity to go back to doing the things that got you out of that pain in the first place. Let's talk about optimism versus pessimism and the impact that it has on your health. We just talked about Churchill, right? Churchill says that the optimists will see opportunity and the pessimists will see difficulties. Now, we've been talking to lots of patients over the last several weeks, and a lot of people are under a lot of stress. Whether we're talking about local school board politics and trying to figure out how they're going to implement the blueprint plan, or we're talking about the changes at the federal government over the last month, or we're talking about, international issues, there's a lot of people who are under a lot of stress. They have a choice to make. Are they going to see opportunity, or are they going to see difficulty? What's very interesting is I just recently finished Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago. But in the postscript of this book, he talked about the rises and falls that have occurred in our country since World War II. They've been very difficult to predict. Change is going to happen. We don't necessarily know whether the change is going to be a net positive or a net negative, but we can choose to look for the positives in those changes instead of dwelling on the negatives. And I encourage you to do that. Now, let's talk about the health benefits. Optimists typically will experience better mental and physical health. They will deal with less depression, less anxiety, less stress, which leads to better relationships. Those better relationships often lead to better physical health. The physical health improves by a stronger immune system. It decreases blood pressure. It can lead to a longer life and, more importantly, longer health span. So choosing to find positive benefits will only help you both mentally and physically. So rather than dwelling, rather than living in the difficulties, let's look for the opportunities. Let's choose to be optimistic rather than choosing to be pessimistic. Now let's talk about some good news. I want to talk about Coffee Milano Cafe in Massachusetts. Towards the end of last year, they ran a promotion. They published it on their social media. They even put a little sign on the door. It was a very simple promotion. If you wanted a free cup of coffee, free cup, all you had to do was enter the store dancing. No words, no explanation, just dancing. Think about the impact that has on the staff, on the other patrons in the store. Heck, I was watching videos and I was reacting. We were all smiling and laughing. It's infectious. It's difficult not to do that. They spread joy by just asking for one simple thing and then sharing a cup of coffee. Just such a cool promotion. What can we do to spread more joy? It's a question we have to ask ourselves.